Good morning. Morning, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Welcome. Morning, Diego. Morning, C Breezy, Kava, Pulenta. Hey, what's up, Johnny? Amin, Victor, what's up, guys? Glad to have you here. Day two of this week. Hey, what's good? What's good? Guys, the rest of the week is going to be a little bit insane. Not gonna lie to you, we are gonna see a lot of increased volatility in the market. We have a lot of news coming out. Oh, of course. Yeah, call me Jojo. That's what I go by. So I go by Jojo, Joe. I mean, my real name is Josiah, but I don't really go by that. Yeah. You don't gotta call me Trader Joe. Alright, let me share my screen here with you guys. We'll get started. Alright, so over here on the right we got NQ, over here on the left we got ES, okay? So I already have a few things charted out. Just our Asia low and Asia high, okay? What ethnicity am I? So I've got a few different ethnicities. So mainly European, mainly German, but also Jewish and Romanian. So Jewish Romanian is one of my ethnicities. And then a little bit of mix of like English and a few things like that. So I'm kind of a mutt, but mainly German and Romanian Jewish. Not a practicing Jew, but just ethnically wise. Oh, what? That's sick. There we go. I've never met another Romanian Jew before, so that's pretty cool. Mob name is Joe Moneybags. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't look it whatsoever. I'm blonde, blue-green eyes, so people don't really expect it, but here I am. Definitely. Okay, guys, so over here we have our Asia high at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and we have our Asia low at 8 p.m. Eastern, okay? So our Asia range completely got swept to the downside. I wanted to see a continuation to the upside last night. If you guys saw my trade call out, I had gotten in the longs. I'd gotten in the longs somewhere around here. I forget exactly where I was in. And I wanted to see if they would continue all the way up to at least take out these highs and possibly reach these highs. We obviously didn't do that. We wanted to go the opposite way, so I ended up moving my stop in to break even once we hit like 50 ticks. And I didn't take any profit because I just kind of wanted to let it run. So I ended up getting stopped at break even. So it was a risk-free trade at that point, no loss or no. I didn't take any profit, so that was fine. We kind of ended up chopping a lot, still seeing those like seek and destroy conditions, and then after taking out Asia low, we kind of stayed down in this range, and we formed our London low and London high. Okay, so up here we see at 2:30 a.m. we have our London high up here. So yeah, about 2:30 London high. We obviously still have not gone up towards our London high, but we did form a London low, and then we completely swept our London low. So at like 3:15, or actually, sorry, at 5 a.m., which is all the way down here, this is our London low. And we've completely swept our London low. We completely displaced with our news candle right here. So if you guys didn't know, we just had some news come out at 8:30, 8:30 Eastern. Okay, so we had our GDP and employment cost index, and then at 9 a.m. Eastern, we also had a few other things come out. 9:45, we're gonna have a few things. We're gonna have something come out, and then at 10, we're gonna have news. So we've got a lot of stuff going on today, this morning specifically, and then obviously tomorrow we have FOMC, and we've got a lot of stuff in the morning tomorrow as well. And then on Friday we're gonna have NFP and unemployment, all that stuff. So the market might be a little crazy this week, so we're gonna have to really navigate this with caution and really be conservative and wait for the right setups and have a really solid approach in this market. Our 10 a.m. news, let me double check on what our 10 a.m. news is today. Oh yeah, consumer confidence. It is a red folder news event, so it should be a higher impact news, which will typically offer more volatility in the market. So we'll probably stay out of the market until that news happens, kind of wait for it to calm down. Whenever you see red folder news, you assume that it's going to be higher volatility. It means it's going to have a higher impact on NQ and ES. So we kind of want to, I like to stay clear of that stuff. I like to let it kind of play out, and then, see what direction it's taking us in, and then hop in a trade, depending on, if we see that setup and if the trend is showing us something. Okay, so right now, after sweeping Asia low and then displacing aggressively our London low, I would expect this trend to try to continue to the downside right now, because look what we did. We created these equal lows down here. Look at how we came all the way down and directly create these equal lows. So now we have sell side liquidity down here. Okay, we formed this this displacement fair value gap on the 15-minute. We trade back up into it, kind of get a bounce off VWAP. So I would expect us to continue to the downside and probably try to come down and take that out. So yeah, it has been a pretty chill open so far, and I assume that's because we have news coming out soon. So we'll probably kind of set up for that news, which is in about 20 minutes. So we might not see anything too crazy until that news comes out. We'll see. Okay, so that's on our 15-minute, but let's go up to kind of our higher time frames and check out our overall. And I know there's like a bunch of stuff on here right now, so don't pay attention to all this. Just look at our daily candles. Look at our daily candles. So with this kind of open, you would kind of expect price to come down and take out some sell side and then pump for the rest of the day and try to come up and take out our buy side liquidity up here, and take out or push into our daily SIBI. Okay, that's what I would want to see happen, especially when we would look at, well, the thing that's stopping me is our weekly time frame, because we are in a weekly bearish fair value gap, and we have seen a strong reaction off of that yesterday, off that weekly fair value gap, and we kind of started our week going up, and then now we've started to drop. So the weekly might be what tries to push us down, but on a daily time frame, I do want to see price try to push up here eventually at some point this week. Okay, but look at all these volume gaps down here, right? A lot of volume gaps from all of our earnings days last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do try to get some retracement in the market, try to kind of fill these volume gaps a little bit before trying to pump. But overall, I do want to see price continue to the upside, at least into this fair value gap, right? And then see if we get a reaction off that. That's what I'd want to see happen. I'd want to see those longs continue that trend that we started yesterday, and try to continue to push up. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to look at our 4-hour here. Okay, so our 4-hour kind of created those equal lows as well, right? A lot of long wicks down, right? Look at this wick down, look at this wick down. So we had this 4-hour order block here, we had this 4-hour fair value gap right here, if you can see it. Look how we've reacted off this 4-hour fair value gap and off our 4-hour order block down here. We've gotten strong bounces from those levels, but now we've created sell side liquidity. So this is a 4-hour Cibi, or busy, sorry. So this is why, like, overall, I want to see us go long. Okay, our trend is still very bullish. I know we've gotten reactions off of that order block we talked about, but I think we'll try to push through that order block up into our daily imbalance. But again, we have to be prepared for if price wants to come back down and sweep these relatively equal lows, grab this liquidity, and then pump, right? I could definitely see that happening. So that's something we kind of have to be ready for. But so far, that reaction off this 4-hour imbalance has been pretty strong. And our trend continues to look like we're trying to continue to the upside. So I have an hourly pulled up now. So a point of resistance here, we have an hourly order block with these two up close candles and then an aggressive move down. So now this is a point of resistance that we're going to try to push through here. But look at that hourly candle and look how we're bouncing off that 4-hour fair value gap like I talked about. We also have a 1-hour here. So we're looking like we are really trying to push up right now. So like I said, what I'd want to see happen is a reaction, back down. I'd want to see the sell side get taken out at some point and then the pump happen, right? I'd kind of want to see that happen, but we're going to kind of, we kind of got to wait for news today. Because news could definitely wreck us if we're not careful, if we're not waiting for that news to play out, because that'll push us in the right direction, and then we'll be able to kind of have a better idea of what market direction is going to look like for the day. Right, but whenever I see these lows created, I always assume that price is going to try to come back down and try to take out those lows. Look at like equal lows right here. This is a strong target, so I always expect price to try to come back down and take those. Okay, we did form a little bit of, actually not really. I mean, let's look at a 5-minute time frame. I'll look at a 5-minute time frame here. We formed like a breaker on the 5-minute time frame. Right, we do have a high, a low, a higher high up here, and then we have that strong displacement. On the 5-minute, the 15-minute is kind of harder to read because it's more chop here. It's not really not really too much of a clear breaker here. But I do want to see if we're going to get a reaction off this fair value gap, off this 15-minute order block up here, back to the downside, because I think, there's potential we try to come back down and take out those equal lows. But again, if we keep pumping and we try to sweep, we displace highs, that's when I start thinking about longs overall. So I know this might be a little confusing. My overall bias, guys, is still long right now. My overall daily bias right now is still long, but I want to see if price is going to try to sweep our equal lows before we get that push, right? Isn't this funny? This trade we took yesterday, you know how I sold at 100 ticks? And then, I don't know if anybody held that trade yesterday, but it did end up hitting over 500 ticks overall. But no FOMO, right? No FOMO. I don't know if anybody held. I didn't see anybody that was holding that or that said they held it. So longs are really pumping here. Very strong pump. So guys, like I said, we're gonna wait for news. We have 15 minutes until news is released. That's really gonna show us what the market wants to do. Like, we might see a lot of manipulation. We could very easily see a dump back down to try to sweep these lows. But like I said, overall bias is still long for the day. Alright, so on the day I want to catch longs. I want to see the longs come in. But I want to, wait and see if we're going to get that manipulation move back down to sweep lows, and then we can catch longs from the bottom. That would be ideal. But look at that strong 15-minute candle there. We have a balanced price range that we're creating here on the 15-minute. This could be a very strong level to take long from, here as well. Let's take a look over here at ES. Let's look at our daily time frame here. Okay, so we're already in that daily bearish fair value gap here on ES, and that's why I would expect NQ to go up and do the same thing, right? Because if we look over here at NQ, we have not touched into it yet. We have not touched into it, and that's why I would expect us to try to touch up into that this week, just like ES has done. Okay, so ES's next target, if it displaces this fair value gap, would be our daily order block up here. Right, so this would be our next target on ES. So it's the daily minus OV. Go down to a 4 hour here. Right, that's still that strong bullish trend here on the 4 hour, but also struggling in this daily and 4 hour imbalance. 4 hour order block up here, but look at these wicks down, same exact thing on the 4 hour, crazy wicks down and then continuation back up. I'm gonna go down to the 1 hour. We filled that volume gap. 1 hour is kind of all over the place, and guys, this is all crazy because this is our Monday chop, right? So it can be hard to read our Monday chop for the following day. But look, ES still looks very bullish overall as well. If it can push through, this daily imbalance, I think it'll continue up to that daily order block. So let's see what we have here. ES is still respecting that 15-minute fair value gap as well. And we have actually more of a bearish breaker here on ES, but now we actually displaced that bearish breaker, so it's no more. Let's look at our Asia highs, Asia lows here. All right, so 7, remember it's 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern to midnight. Okay, so 7 p.m. Asia high there. And then our Asia low is more like right here. So that's our Asia high and Asia low right there. London high kind of came up around the same level here at 230. We'll chart out our London high over here on ES right there. And then our London low obviously got swept as well. As you can see down here at 5 a.m., that was our London low. Completely got swept. So this is gonna be an interesting day. Like I said, we got to be very, very careful today. There's going to be a lot of manipulation in this market. So now we've created equal highs as well. This is what I mean by manipulation. Like we saw yesterday, we got a ton of manipulation yesterday. And we're going to see probably a lot of similar tendencies today. I don't think we'll see as much chop today. We might actually, leading up to FOMC, we might see a little bit more chop. I would expect a little bit more movement in the market, but we're going to see a lot of manipulation, right? As we've seen so far, look at that 5-minute candle here, and then this 5-minute candle completely comes back down. So, yeah, like we have about 10 minutes till news. So, overall, we're at bullish bias on the day, but we really have to see what news is going to do to us, because news can completely wreck your bias, right? Can completely change what your bias was going to be originally. Let's say news just dumps the market. Well, that might change my ideas a little bit. But what I would love to see is for price to drop, sweep our equal lows, all the way back down here, and then wick all the way back up again, and continue to the high side, right? That's what I would love to see. Right now we're getting a bounce off that hourly order block. So I could definitely see if news push us down a little bit, but it just depends what the news comes out as. Right? Is it going to be good or bad news? How are people going to react to it? How is the market going to react to it? Right, and you almost never know. Unless you're doing a lot of research into it, like if you really think you know what FOMC is gonna do, you can study that stuff, and try to analyze it. But again, some of these news releases, you're not really gonna have a clear idea of what's gonna happen. If you don't have a clear idea of what's going to happen, then you should probably not be trading it. Should probably not be trading it. So we have news coming out actually in about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes. It's at 10 a.m. that CB Consumer Confidence Red Folder news. So it's about 9 minutes now. So like I said, I'm going to wait until that news comes out. I'm not really going to get into a trade until then. I want to just kind of read how the market is moving and wait to see what that does, what kind of direction the market chooses here, and if it offers a good trade setup for us. Okay, I want to see it offer a good trade setup for us. We can look at the VIX. So the VIX is currently dumping right now. VIX is currently dumping right now. So like guys, when the VIX is dumping, you would expect price to do the opposite on NQ, and you would expect price on NQ to rise. But VIX has kind of been choppy, right? Obviously, yesterday was pretty choppy because our market was pretty choppy, right? A lot of up and down movement, not very clear. But when you look at the VIX and you see it dumping, you'd kind of expect, right? It's just a confluence. It's not like 100% an indicator, right? But it's a confluence into, expecting the opposite to happen with NQ, right? So when I see the VIX dumping, I would expect NQ to continue to the upside, right? And that's what it's currently doing right now. But again, we're going to see what happens here. You're afraid to trade today. You got cracked yesterday. Well, I mean that sucks, and it happens. And if you, let's say that's your mindset right now and you're not feeling very confident, maybe you just kind of stay out of the market today until you gain that confidence back, right? Until you kind of feel comfortable to trade again. Maybe you just kind of watch the market. You just take notes. Maybe you back test, or just trade some micros. Trade a few micros and really start to focus on that risk management. Kind of get your mind back in the place of taking the right trades, managing your risk, because this kind of price action can really tempt you to get in heavy. It's very tempting to get you in heavy, but it's not very good price action to get in heavy in, right? Because it's very manipulative. It's very manipulative, right? A lot of up and down, a lot of internal liquidity sweeps. And when you over leverage yourself and you take 4 or 5 losses in a row, that's going to be pretty bad for your account. Now let's say you trade a few micros and you still take those losses. I mean, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to be as bad as if you over leveraged. Alright, and it's just it goes back to that gambling mindset of focusing so much on getting huge wins and just clicking buy, sell, that you get caught in that loop of having to, you feel like you have to over leverage, you feel like you have to go on super heavy all the time, because you see these big numbers, and it just, it feels that, it pumps that dopamine in your brain. And you got to get away from that. You got to start getting excited about just seeing a win. And it doesn't matter what the number is. It doesn't matter what the number is, right? You just kind of be happy with the win, and you learn from a loss, right? And just kind of let the numbers go to the side. Let the money go to the side, and just focus on trading the right way. Because if you focus so much on, how much money you're going to make, you're probably not going to make that much money, right? But if you just focus on trading the right way, which means you'll probably scale down and you'll probably, trade not as heavy, then the money will follow and you won't even be thinking about the money. So that's what I recommend. But yeah, I mean, we all have those blow up days, right? Where it happens, the market gets the best of you. But as long as you realize that, you understand that you messed up or you had a bad day, and you just move on and you learn from it, you'll be all right. You'll be okay. Okay, it's gonna happen. You know, I'd be lying to you if I said it won't happen, right? Because it happens to everybody. You just have one of those bad days. You let the market take control of you. You kind of lose control of your own mind, and you just mindlessly click buy and sell. It happens, right? But what the worst thing you can do is to not journal that or not realize what you're doing after the fact or while you're doing it, and then just continue that trend and that habit. Right? You gotta nail the problem, right? Figure out what the problem was. Why did I do that? How can I not do that next time, right? And write that down. Maybe put a note right in front of you. Put it on your screen. Put it on your wall. Just say, like, maybe you know, there's a certain reason why you over leveraged, why you had a bad day, why you had a blow up day, and you put it on your wall. You put it right in front of you. So the next time your brain starts thinking about doing that again, you read that note and it says, "Don't over leverage," right? And it just kind of that reminder. It's just that daily reminder to stick to your trading plan. To stick to your plan and to not let your emotions take over. So we've got about 3 minutes left here until news. We're kind of just, you know, moving kind of choppy right now, waiting for that news to come out. Nothing too crazy is happening yet. You know, we might want to come up here and take out our buy side. You know, we're pretty close to these equal highs up here. We might try to sweep these highs. Like I said down here, whenever we create those equal lows, right, like that, equal highs like this, you expect price to go back to those highs or those lows, especially when price is close to it, and we're seeing a bounce and that trend continue. You would expect price to try to come up here, sweep those highs, grab that liquidity, you know, and then possibly reverse after that. Possibly reverse. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the buy. The only thing is we have news coming out soon, so I would be careful because sometimes news, if you're in a trade during news and your stop gets hit, sometimes I won't really respect that stop level and you'll get slippage and you'll lose more than you wanted to. But right here, I mean, on the 15-minute time frame, we do look like we're trying to push through and grab some buy side, right? This long wick down, bouncing off of VWAP. We do look like we're trying to head up there. So, I mean, I don't hate the longs here, but I just wouldn't get in a trade right now when we have about 1 minute until news release, right? Until news is released. So, if there wasn't news coming out, I would like that trade. All right, bounce off that fair value gap down here. We're continuing that bullish trend. We create equal highs. So we have that buy side target. But with, you know, with this report coming out, I wouldn't get in a trade. We have about 40 seconds until it comes out. So we're gonna see what happens here. See what the market does. So I'm not in any trades right now, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna wait. I'd be very smart here. If you are in a trade, be very smart. Remember, there's gonna be slippage. There can be slippage if you get stopped out. Sometimes it won't fill you where you want to get filled. But just a reminder, I'm not trading right now. I'm not in a trade. So the news is about to come out. We'll see if it's right away or if we get some delayed data. Okay. So news is being released right now. Just gonna wait for this to happen. See what kind of reaction we get. We might come up here, sweep these highs, kind of come back down. You know, we're gonna see. Nothing too crazy yet. We're starting to see that increased volatility though. It's kind of a fight right now. Bull and bear fighting back and forth. Sometimes with news like this, guys, we see a little bit of a delay before that move happens. All right, while people are kind of reading what's going on. And then we'll just see kind of a crazy pump or a crazy dump. All right, so remember these equal highs up here. This would be a target right here. I wouldn't be surprised if we come try to take these out. See what happens. We're very close to that daily fair value gap up here. Or not the daily fair value gap, sorry. This is our hourly order block up here. This is our hourly order block up here. Up here that we bounced from. But like right now, we still look pretty bullish, right? But this is a strong resistance level here at this hourly order block. So let's see what we do if we sweep this high, if we're going to get a continuation of the trend to the upside, or if we're going to sweep buy side and then wick and then come back down. So now that news is really coming out. We're actually starting to see that reaction of the news, right? So we've swept buy side. Now are we going to displace buy side, or are we going to come back down and drop all the way back down to our sell side? Right? I would kind of expect that to happen. That was a strong sweep of buy side. Remember, we kind of want to wait for that 5 minute to close for that extra confidence in a buy side sweep or sell side sweep. But right, if you're going to be super aggressive and try to trade the news, if I was going to be super aggressive and trade the news, like I would get in shorts after that sweep and that strong move down. But I'm not going to get super aggressive today. I'm going to sit back and let this play out. We've got like a lot of time to trade today. There's no reason for me to rush and take unnecessary losses. But like I said, if I was being aggressive, I would short right as we started to wick back down and close below. A more conservative play would be waiting for the 5 minute to close here. Like this, if the 5 minute closes down here, that's when I would start to think about looking for shorts. You mentioned levels when you talk about buy side. Yes, yeah, of course. I can definitely talk about buy side, our specific levels. Like I said, guys, so our next target is down at these lows, 17.79125, right? These equal lows down here. That's our next target. So look at that liquidity sweep up here. And like I said, the more aggressive trade for me, if I was going to get in, which I wasn't, would have been to short right after we grab that liquidity and wick back down and close below. Right? If I wanted to be super aggressive, I would have shorted that. But I don't want to be super aggressive. I want to wait for confirmation, which would be like waiting for the 5 minute, the 15 minute to close. All right, so if this 5 minute closes like this, aggressively down, maybe closes below VWAP, and then we get retracement, I would start looking for shorts. Maybe we form this 1 minute bearish breaker, high, low, higher, high. If this becomes a bearish breaker, maybe I look to short off that breaker, right? So if we came down and displaced this low here on the 1 minute time frame, that could be a decent short opportunity. But we got to see that 5 minute close with displacement. We also got SMT here. ES did not sweep that high. ES did not sweep the high here. Well, NQ did. So that's one confluence in a reversal, right? That's a confluence in a reversal. But let's see how that 5 minute closed. Good close on the 5 minute, but still struggling at VWAP here. Still struggling at VWAP, so I would not get into any trade yet until I saw a break of structure down here on the 1 minute. And then we retrace back up into this bearish breaker. That's when I would start looking for shorts. Alright, but not until that happens. And the extra conservative play here would be waiting for this 15 minute candle to close. Because now look what we've done. We've created equal highs up here at our 15 minute high at like 17.895. So we still have buy side liquidity up here at London and Asia high. So until we break structure to the downside, you're not going to see me rush into a trade. You will not see me rush into a trade until we get an actual break of structure. All right, like I talked about, a lot of manipulation in the market right now. That's what we expect. We expect that manipulation in the market. So at our Asia low, just below is these equal lows right here, right? So 17,895. Those are our equal highs, sorry, right up here. So that's more liquidity here. So if price is going to continue to the upside, that's another target for the highs. And then our next target would be our London high up here at 17,910.75, and then our Asia high at 17,920.25. Right? If price was going to continue to the upside, those would be my targets. Those would be my buy side targets. But let's say we form kind of like a head and shoulders pattern here, and we actually get that breaker. We break structure down below. You know, I'd wait for that 1 minute to close below this low, retrace up into this breaker, and then I would take it short all the way down to these lows at 17,791. Okay, so now we're in silver bullet hour, right? 7 to 8, 10 to 11, 10 to 11 Eastern. That's our silver bullet hour, which we expect a liquidity sweep, and then we expect price to now target opposing liquidity. Right, but that could happen anytime throughout the entire hour. It doesn't just happen, happen. It doesn't happen every day, and it doesn't have to happen right at the start of the hour, right? But for normal silver bullet, after sweeping this liquidity right at 7 o'clock, right, I would expect this now to get a reversal and try to target opposing liquidity, probably all the way down at these lows like I talked about. So that would be our silver bullet move. But we're still in a bullish trend, so I'm not going to short anything unless we got a break of structure. So this is just about playing the waiting game, being very patient, being very smart here. Like right now on the 5 and the 15 minute, it looks like a clear liquidity sweep and that where price is going to reverse, right? That's what it looks like to me on the 5 and the 15 minute. 1 hour, we have this 1 hour order block here. We could definitely see a bounce from that level. We wick up far and we start to drop. We have equal lows. A few reasons why I could see price drop from this level. We've gotten a strong reaction off this hourly order block up here, right? So that's what it's looking like right now. So if we get a break of structure on the 1 minute to the downside, right, we form this head and shoulders pattern. I would wait for us to close below this low right here, retrace back up into this breaker, right? So this would be a 1 minute bearish breaker, and then that's when I would take it short. But I will not take any short until that happens. Right now we're just kind of chopping. We're just kind of consolidating in this area right now. So nothing's really happening. The news wasn't too crazy. It did what we expected, right? It went to our nearest draw on liquidity, grabbed that liquidity, came back down. Right, just like we talked about. Yes, so I marked the entire red candle from wick to wick. The lowest down close candle on that first high to low. So this would be that breaker. It's that lowest down close candle from wick to wick. Right? So it's not a breaker until this candle displaces these lows. Alright, so patience is key here. That is something I could see happening, but again, we're still in a bullish trend. So we would have to break structure for that to happen. For me to feel confident in that play, got to see a break of structure, got to see this 1 minute breaker form. Otherwise, I'm not going to get in that trade. Especially because we already displaced this fair value gap on the 5 minute. We displaced this 15 minute fair value gap. right? That's, you know, that's why I would wait for that break of structure. We're starting to see a little momentum, but, you know, still down at VWAP. We could still see a bounce here. But if we can close below, see this more as a head and shoulders. I mean, the wick, it's interesting, you know, because you don't really see the bodies up here. But to me, this looks more like a head and shoulders, right? The high up here, head up here, shoulder, shoulder, drop. And, you know, I don't really look at head and shoulders as much, but this is, you know, the head and shoulders is this is a reversal pattern right here, right? This is a reversal pattern. This is that market structure shift pattern that we see. High, low, higher, high, low, high, and then displace the low, right? That's that market structure shift pattern. So when we see that form, and we see a breaker form, that's when I'm really looking to take shorts, right? But not until I see a break of structure down here. So we displaced this low, so we did get a break of structure here, right? But I want to see that market structure shift fully and take out this low, right? If you wanted to get in the shorts now off a break of structure, you know, it's still an aggressive play to me. That would still be a very aggressive play right now. But that is a play you could take based off this break of structure. Remember, guys, I am more conservative here. I want to see that. I want to see us get that market structure shift, change of character here, retrace back up into that breaker, right, and try to take it short from here. Stop above the breaker, about 55 ticks. So there we go, right? If you got that entry up here, you know, that'd be a solid entry. Like I said, more aggressive though. So now I want to see this low get displaced. I want to see it retrace. And then that target here would be this low, and then it would be all the way down to this low here, right? So it'd be like a 200 plus tick move that I'd be looking for. So we technically still haven't closed below this low, so we haven't gotten that break of structure yet. But we did create equal lows here, right? So whenever we create these equal lows, we expect price to come back down after retracement and try to sweep them. All right, so still no break, or still no market structure shift yet. Not until this low gets displaced. Right, and that's why you have not seen me enter into a trade yet. That's why I have not entered into a trade, because we have not displaced this low. Look at that 15-minute. That's a crazy wick on the 15-minute there. Crazy wick on the 15-minute. Yeah, so, I mean, this is why, guys, a lot of manipulation in the market right now. This is why you do not see me entering aggressively today. I'm not going to enter aggressively in this kind of market. A lot of up and down movement right now. Yo, but since we have not displaced this low, that means this breaker will still be in play. Yeah, shoot me a DM, Honest Money. Shoot me a DM and I'll respond to you after the session. Yeah, guys, so when we create these equal lows, remember, we're expecting, you know, even if we get retracement, I would want to see price come back down and try to sweep those. But right now we're just seeing so much up and down, so much chop. We're not really seeing clear market direction yet, because we come down, we break structure here, and we do have this trend actually, so we did stick to this trend. Right, if you look at the trend from here, so it did stick to this trend here, right, and then bounce. So we, you know, that's why we wait for a true market structure shift to try to short that. Because we didn't get that market structure shift, you're not going to see me get in the shorts. You know, I offered you the more aggressive play, but I told you I'm not getting into this trade. I'm not taking this market aggressively today. I'm not going to trade this market aggressively for the rest of this week. I'm going to be very conservative for this week because we have so much news coming out. There's going to be so much volatility in the market. It's not the time for me to be aggressive. For me, that tells me I need to be more conservative. Especially the day leading into FOMC, you're going to see a lot of manipulation. This market is going to manipulate a ton. So let's see if we come down and try to take out those equal lows, or if we're going to continue up. Right now we're still kind of just chopping in this range here. We're still really chopping in this range. We're not doing too much. You guys can see long wick down, long wick up, long wick up, long wick down, long wick up, right? So this is just that 5-minute range that we're just chilling in. Right, we're not doing too much. You know, we could even see a power of 3 kind of move off this 5-minute range, right? Because, you know, we're still kind of consolidating. I know we swept liquidity up here, but to me this is still a consolidation range on this 5-minute and on this 1-minute, right? This is still consolidation to me because we're technically just moving sideways. On Tradevate, it took out the lows. Oh, on MNQ probably, right? So on NQ we did not sweep those lows, but it looks like on MNQ we did sweep those lows. Interesting. Interesting. And ES did sweep those lows too, right? So that's that divergence there between ES and NQ. ES sweeps the low, NQ does not. We see that continuation to the upside. Alright, so we might see these longs step in, but again, I'll probably wait today for us to actually break out of a range, and then, you know, get retracement. Instead of trying to catch the move inside of this range, I would prefer to wait for a breakout of this accumulation range and then retracement, right? Or a fake out. Right? So we get a manipulation move and then expansion, or we get a breakout, retracement, right? Take it long, breakout, retracement, take it short, right? But we just kind of have to wait for this range to get taken out, because right now there's nothing too clear. We're just chilling in it. We're just chilling. I mean, as you guys can see, there's not really too many trades you could have taken during this range. You could have scalped it. Like, you definitely could have scalped this range, right? If you got in the shorts up here, off that liquidity sweep, very aggressive move, you could have scalped it down to these lows. But there's no trades yet that you really could hold, right? Because we have not broken out of this range. And just a ton of chop. There's nothing so far that I would take. I'm sure there's some traders that have taken a few trades already, but I don't know how well that's worked out for them. You know, maybe people have caught some wins, but for my style and my strategy, this is not. I don't trade this. Right? I would much rather wait for all this to clear out, because, you know, my approach is more conservative. Look at the 15. Yeah, the 15, I mean, is all over the place, right? But these equal lows down here are what are drawing me still to the shorts, and then these equal lows down here, that's what is drawing me down to the shorts, and seeing this reaction off of this level up here, right? Off of that hourly order block up here. That's what's drawing me to the shorts right now. But again, we have to wait for a breakout because our trend is still bullish and we're still bouncing off that bullish trend. So patience here is the key. Yes, he is. He is deep. We lived together for about a year now. He's doing well. He's doing well. He's taking a little break. Well, we might have a little announcement in the coming days, so just keep your, be ready for notifications. I will tell him for you. Yep, we might have to do what the people want. We might have to do what the people want. See, guys, I mean, you guys can see right now, crazy chop, right? So what we have to wait for now is a breakout of this range. Yeah, this market is awful, right? I'm very happy I'm not trading this. Very happy I'm staying out of this right now. I feel no need to trade this. No need, not until we break out. Yes, in the future I will be doing, so on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'll be doing 3 sessions a day. 2 trading, 1 educational. Wednesdays and Fridays will just be our typical ones. I'm thinking about doing on Fridays, guys, is just trading our market open. I don't know if I'll continue to do our prop firm sessions on Fridays. We might just start trading our, kind of doing our market open and then calling it a day. Getting to start on our weekend. So, I'm still kind of figuring out what my schedule is going to look like for the Discord. But right now, yeah, my plan is 2 live trading sessions a day. So a market open session, a prop firm session, and then an educational session in between those. Yeah, no, and I might bring on other traders. Not right now, but in the future, I might bring on some other traders. As we start to kind of expand this Discord. When are you coming to Dallas? Oh, Omar, I'm gonna come to Dallas. I don't know when my next trip will be. It'll probably be like in the next month or 2. I'm probably gonna come out there. So we'll definitely have to go play around. Dude, that course we played was insane. I actually played, so me and Omar and Danny played this course out in Dallas, and it was a PGA course, and it was pretty cool. It was like the hardest course I've ever played at, though. So our Discords, like Traders Evolve and Eternal Exchange, aren't technically affiliated, right? But me and Danny are still homies. He's been helping me out with a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, they're not technically affiliated, but obviously he's still my guy. Yeah, exactly. We have different strategies, and it was kind of time to expand and kind of do my own thing with my strategy. That's kind of why. That's like the main reason why we decided to kind of, for me to do, I decided to do my own thing. Sometimes you have both of us. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, Danny is a lot more aggressive than me. I think whoever has watched Danny trade, you know that, right? Danny's a great trader, but he's way more. Has a more aggressive style than I do, right? I'm more of a conservative style. Yeah, man, he's helped me out a lot, so I really appreciate him. Is it good to trade prop firm session with own money, or is it different strategy? Well, it depends. That's up to you. So like my whole design for it for the prop firm session is for people, because most people do trade prop firms, so I want people to be able to see how you can scale those prop firms and trade them the right way. But you can still trade your own account, you know, that's up to you. You could trade your own account like a live account if you want, because I mean we still take solid trades, right? We've only lost, like, I think we've had one, I don't know if we've had a losing day on our prop firm session so far. So I mean, if you want to trade your own money, you can. That's up to you, completely your decision. But the whole, you know, what I like to do is, the reason I'm doing this session is to be able to show the right trading, you know, how to trade a prop firm. Yes, I'll create a channel to put, you know, my different prop firm links on there. So, you know, I'll try to have, like, right now I only have an Apex link, but I'm going to try to, you know, form a good partnership with TopStep and probably FFN, right, and hopefully get a good discount deal on those prop firms for you guys. That's my goal. Alright, so we're starting to kind of try to break through this range here. Remember, guys, we have to displace these lows. If we grab this liquidity down here and we start to pump, I'll start looking for longs here. I'll start looking for longs if this is a liquidity grab. Because I could see us really pump from here if we grab liquidity. Alright, but if we displace these lows, that's when I'm starting to look for shorts to come back down and take these equal lows down here. So far no confirmation in the shorts because we have not displaced. Remember, more conservative play, wait for this 5 minute to close, see if this 5 minute displaces. More aggressive play is playing the 1 minute time frame. Playing the normal, you know, playing the 1 minute time frame is always more aggressive, but using 1 minute time frame for entries can be great as long as you're using the higher time frames for confluence and for conviction in your trades. Again, like I said, this could be a power of 3 here. If we sweep this liquidity, we could really pump and try to take out our highs after this. But we're going to see if we displace or not. It would be ideal to let this 5 minute candle close in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Right? It would be ideal to wait for this one to close, to be more conservative here. You know, we look like we're trying to push down. So if we displace here and we pump back up into this level, I'll look to take it short. Okay, so it's looking like we're displacing. It's looking like we're displacing here. We're going to find out. This 5 minute is going to be key to figuring out what we do here. Okay, this 5 minute is key. If we see displacement on this 5 minute, I'm looking short. But if this 5 minute comes back up in the next 30 seconds and starts to move back up aggressively, I'll look for longs. But right now we're looking pretty bearish. Okay, so when I see this displacement here, I'm going to wait for that retracement and I'm going to take it short. Okay, we're about to get displacement here. Alright, so there's that displacement move. We can see the 5 minute just closed very aggressively down. So now let's see if the market's going to offer us some retracement here to where we can still get in this trade. Right, I want to still be able to catch this trade. But I want to wait for the right setup. I want to wait for retracement up back into this level. Alright, this would be my ideal entry up here. Being able to keep a stop just above this high around 55 ticks. But maybe we form a fair value gap right here on this 1 minute, and we might get an entry off this 1 minute here. You know, we might not come all the way back up to here. Okay, so now we have this fair value gap up here. So if we were tracing to this one, I'll now look for an entry in this fair value gap. Right here. Okay, wait, so this liquidity just got swept, or the liquidity got completely taken out, displaced. So now this 1 minute right here is what I'd be looking for. Remember, I never chase breakouts, right? I'm not going to chase price. I don't care if I miss out on this. Let's say we drop all the way to our target. I don't care if I miss out on it because I'm not going to chase it. So now I'm not going to just rush into a trade off this 1 minute, because look at this bounce. I want to see a reaction off this 1 minute before I take it short. Because if we're pumping aggressively through it, I'm not going to just hop in that trade. We do have this 4 hour busy that we're back in right now. Remember, it's a hard level to push through. We've seen a reaction off of it. But we've touched it twice now, and I think we really could come back down and take out those lows down there. So if we see a reaction off this level, I'll start to look for shorts, but this is too aggressive right now to the upside for me to take a short just yet. Got to see a reaction. Got to see a reaction. I'm not going to jump in until I see that movement down. Let's see. I'm thinking about getting the shorts here. We'll see if we get continued reaction. If not, I'm going to wait. Okay, I just got an entry in the shorts. I'm just going to get in half a lot right now. I just got a half a lot entry in the shorts there. That was a good reaction off the 1 minute. I'm just going to keep my stop above that 1 minute fair value gap. My entry's at 31.50. I'm going to keep like a 50 tick stop up here at 17.844, just above that fair value gap. Remember, first trade, testing it out. I like that reaction we saw, but we do have momentum still, so we need to see a really strong reaction back to the downside. Or we could, no, there's a possibility we could pump back up here, because remember, we're trying to push through this 4 hour fair value gap right now. It's a 4 hour bullish fair value gap, so we have to see a lot of momentum to push through this level and try to take out our equal lows. I'm thinking about adding into a full. If we start to push down, I'll add into a full. But we got to see some momentum step in. I'm not going to add into a full until that happens. Even if my entry moves down a little bit, it's okay. Alright, so I'm still waiting. I have not added. I'm not going to add until we see a strong reaction. Okay, I just added. Okay, I like that reaction now. I'm in a full position now. So my entry just moved down. Okay, so my entry is now at 17.830. So that means I'm going to move my stop down a little bit. 50 ticks, still above 17.84250. Remember, guys, we're still struggling here to really push through. We don't have enough momentum. But again, on breakouts like this, after displacing, and we form a breakout fair value gap, that's an entry I like to take, right? So if I get stopped out, oh well, I still liked the setup. But I want to see this trade react. You know, we got strong displacement of those lows. So we might, there's a possibility we might retrace, try to come back up into that breaker up here. But for now, I have a full entry. And we'll see if we can pump down. You know, I'll take my first TP at a 1-to-1 down at this low, if we can break. But right now, we're still looking kind of bullish, like we're trying to push back up into that breaker. So we'll see what happens here. Right, if I get stopped out, I'll still look for a re-entry. See if we can get that reaction. Okay, remember our target liquidity is still down here at these equal lows. We got displacement to the downside. Those are two strong confluences for me. We have a target. We have strong displacement. We have a breakaway fair value gap. We saw reaction off that fair value gap. Right, so a few different confirmations for me to get in that trade. right? But now we just kind of got to see that continuation. So my first TP would be down at this low, which is about 50 ticks down here. That would be my first TP, and I'll set a limit order just below it for half my position. But yeah, we're just not seeing that follow through yet. We are seeing a reaction off that fair value gap, but we really got to see us get a strong momentum. NQ, I'm in on NQ. We got to see that reaction happen now. We got to see that follow through. And if we take out this low aggressively, I do believe we're going to come down all the way down to this low. Okay, so we're back in profit. We're now back in profit, just barely. We're just around break even. I just, I don't like that we're struggling, but I still like the trade setup. Again, we're struggling at this 4 hour, so we got to see us push through that 4 hour time frame. Right now, we're still keeping this bullish movement here. Like I said, that 4 hour is what's holding us right now. But I still like the setup. Even if I were to get stopped out, I don't care because I liked the setup. I had my confluence. I stuck to my plan. I stayed patient, right? I still believe in this trade. But we've just started to chop. We've just started to consolidate in this fair value gap. But we're still respecting the gap right now, so we're going to see what happens. Like I said, if we do pump and we do try to take out my stop, I think we'll come back up into that breaker, and I would probably look for another entry back up in this breaker. This 5 minute time frame. We have this 5 minute fair value gap as well above, right? But we could try to fill more of that 5 minute fair value gap up here. We'll see. I love when we form. Remember, guys, when we form these like 5 minute order blocks, 1 minute order blocks, we have a fair value gap above. I love these setups, but sometimes we're gonna retrace a little bit farther. Like right now, we're trying to retrace up a little bit farther before we end up making that move back down. Okay, so I just got very close to getting stopped out within the tick there. Playing with my emotions here. Yeah, so the 5 minute looks like we want to push up a little bit higher into that fair value gap. So, like I said, if I get stopped out here, which I just got stopped, then I'm going to look for another entry. I just got stopped out, so now I'm going to look for a different entry up here, off this breaker. Right, because, this 5 minutes about to close. So if this 5 minute, we can wait for a close of this 5 minute and then see how our open of our next 5 minute candle looks. Right, so my next entry target would be up here off this breaker. See if we can get a reaction. Because overall, guys, my target liquidity is still sell side down here. It's still sell side. Okay, so we displaced the 1 minute fair value gap, but now that 5 minute, we've touched into that 5 minute a little bit more. Let's see what this 5 minute does here. Okay, we're around the 50% level. So if we really start to pump aggressively, I'll wait. I won't get in shorts. But if we see a strong reaction off this breaker up here, or even off this 5 minute, I would still think about taking this short. VIX, yeah, VIX is a little bit back and forth. We kind of saw, it's still red. We'll see if we're going to range back up. Right, again, we could see a ranging day today again. But that drawn liquidity is still down there. That drawn liquidity is still down here. And we did displace those equal lows very strongly. It's just this 4 hour that's really holding us here. This 4 hour is really holding us. Okay, we're pushing too aggressively right now for me to get in the shorts. Right, but if we start to see a strong reaction off this 1 minute breaker, you know, maybe I'll think about shorting it, but VWAP 2 minute fair value gap, true, you know, good rejection area. You know, if we do start to see that move, that push back down, that's when I would start thinking about a re-entry in the shorts, but not while we're being so aggressive to the upside. I won't short this. All right, we're being way too aggressive to the upside here. Oh wow, yeah, that's aggressive. That's aggressive there. Let's see what happens at the top of this breaker. Yeah, so if we do end up pushing through these highs, to me then that would become a power of 3, right? With the accumulation, manipulation, distribution, that would then become a power of 3 setup for the longs, right? But as long as we stay below in this breaker, or you know, this 5 minute, if we wick back down, shorts are still in play. But if we continue this strong push up, this could be a power of 3. So we closed at the very top of that breaker there. 1 minute order block. We're seeing a reaction. I really want to see how this 5 minute candle closes, because this 5 minute will tell us a lot. The 5 minute will tell us a lot here. Yeah, so we got about 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the 5 minute. Like I said, this fair value gap here, if we can stay below, get a bounce off this 5 minute order block, maybe we see price come back down. But if we continue this bullish momentum, I think this will end up becoming a power of 3, and price will push up past these highs. So we got about 1 minute left on the 5 minute time frame. Still closing above VWAP here. So we'll see what happens here. Right now it's looking pretty bullish. So if we close above this breaker, above that 5 minute fair value gap, that's when I would start thinking about longs. But not until that happens. Like, let's say we get a strong displacement candle on this 1 minute here, and we form this 1 minute order block. This would be a decent entry for me in the longs. Okay, so we displaced the 5 minute, we displaced the 1 minute. So now this is out of play. Okay, 15 minute just closed, pretty bullish. So now I would start thinking about taking the longs here. I didn't get my entry in time just now off that 1 minute order block. But that 1 minute order block would be a decent entry level. But we're seeing a lot of ranging still. We're seeing a lot of ranging. Like I said, it could be like yesterday where we just kind of take out buy side, take out sell side. But this formation right here looks like a power of 3 now. Right, after coming down into that higher time frame imbalance and then pushing through. It's starting to look more like a power of 3 and like we're going to try to continue to the upside. So that's a strong displacement candle there. So now I'm going to wait for retracement back into that 1 minute order block there. We also are, might form a 5 minute fair value gap. No, I'm not in a trade right now. All right, now I'm waiting. Now I'm waiting to see what happens here. Because now the longs could be set up pretty good, right? With this strong displacement candle, 1 minute order block. If we come back down to this order block and we get a reaction off of it, that's when I would start to think about taking it long. All right, and that's because now my bias, remember how I said my overall bias on the day is long? But I wanted to see us come down first and take out these lows. We didn't take out those lows. So we didn't hit that target I wanted to see us take. But my bias is still playing out overall right now. Or at least it's trying to. Right, those longs are stepping in. Like I said, I didn't get my entry off that order block. I kind of wanted to get an entry off this order block. But I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for that retracement back down. See what happens here. We want to be careful of ranging, right? Because, like I said, if today's going to be like yesterday, we might just range from top to bottom all day, right? Yep, you said it exactly. Harry, you said it exactly. Yep. That's what I was thinking. We could see ranging. We're gonna see here. Right, but these longs are starting to look pretty solid. Right, I just want to see us retrace back down a little bit. Again, every time we form one of these order blocks and we get a strong displacement candle, that's when I'm waiting for retracement back into that order block to take it long. Alright, so let's say we get a strong displacement candle right now, and then we retrace back into this order block, I would look to take it long. But you guys don't see me rushing into any trades right now, right? I'm waiting for my trade setup. Even though I took a loss, it doesn't matter. I still wait for my setup. I'm not rushing. I'm not revenge trading. I'm not trying to hop in a trade just to take a trade. No, we're waiting for a good setup here. Waiting for a good setup. Alright, like I said, if we get a displacement candle, push past this order block, then I wait for retracement, take it long. We retrace back into this order block, might look to take it long. We also have a 5 minute down here, right? So maybe we form a 5 minute. This could be a 5 minute BPR, balanced price range. So maybe we form this right here and we trade back into it. That could be a good level, that we bounce from. We're gonna have to see if this is gonna be a ranging day for the rest of the day, where we just range up and down, or if we're actually going to get some kind of breakout with an expansion move. The 30 minute. You're talking about these ones, right? This was my original plan. That's why I took that trade short. Right, was for these lows. That was my bias for that trade, was to try to come down and take out these lows. Alright, but after we formed this power of 3, after we manipulate or accumulate, manipulate down here, and then we started to pump, that's when I kind of started to change my idea. So now we're kind of retraced into that 5 minute fair value gap here, into that 1 minute order block. If we start to see a bounce, this is when I would start to think about taking it long. Remember, not off strong bearish momentum, but off of a bounce, off of a reaction. Right, you're not going to see me getting the longs just yet until we see a reaction. Look at this 5-minute balanced price range we have down here. You know, we could retrace back down into this. So let's see if we get that retracement. We have a lot of liquidity still resting up here. Where we created equal highs up here. We still have our London high, Asia high up there, so we still have buy side targets. Like I said, if we start to see a reaction, that's when I would start thinking about longs. You know, we haven't touched down into that BPR just yet. Like, I want to see us, but we are at VWAP. I wanted to see us touch down a little bit more into this level. All right, but we might see a reaction off VWAP here. So patience, patience, patience. If we start to see that reaction back up, I'll think about, you know, I'll start to look to take it long. But I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to force. I'm not going to rush this trade. All right, because we're still looking like we're trying to push down. Look at this 5-minute candle. We're now in that BPR, but we're showing way too much bearish momentum for me to get in the longs. All right, but if we start to see a bounce from this level, you know, I would think about it, but right now we're showing a lot of momentum. So we're going to see what happens. Like, you know, we could be ranging today, right? So we could range from the top back down to the bottom. So let's see, ES is still above VWAP over here. You know, I'm just being patient. I'm just being patient. Yeah, so, you know, we're looking pretty rangy right now. We're looking like we're going to range from top to bottom. Yeah, so we still have our sell side liquidity, but, you know, this is why you haven't seen me hop back into a trade yet. We are just so back and forth right now. I mean, look at this 15-minute. Look at the 15-minute time frame. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. Our 5-minute already got, our SIBI got disrespected up here when we closed above. All right, so this SIBI has been disrespected. So now we're just dropping with a lot of aggressive movement here. Just so back and forth. So back and forth. I don't enjoy trading ranging days. So we're back. You know, let's see how this 5-minute closes. We got about 20 seconds left on this 5-minute. Let's see how it closes. Is it going to continue to push down, or are we going to come back up and respect this BPR? Yeah, we're not respecting it. Pretty bearish, but guys, we're so back and forth. And now we create a BPR up here. So this is just so much ranging. As you can see, our levels aren't really like, you know, when you see this accumulation and manipulation move, after seeing this strong move back up, you would expect price to come back up and take out these highs, right? Because that would be that AMD, that typical, you know, market structure. But, you know, today is ranging so far, so we're not going to really see those plays come to fruition as much, right? So, you know, maybe we still try to target these equal lows down here. But right now, I'm just kind of sitting back, just kind of waiting. I just don't like this back and forth ranging price action. So let's see if this continues down. You know, we look very bearish, but then we're back in that 4 hour. So is this going to be where we try to push through that 4 hour? Or are we going to get another bounce? All right, look at that bounce off the 4 hour. So, yeah, I'm gonna continue with this patience. Right, I want to take another solid entry if we're offered one. Right, but just entering off the 4 hour for me is not enough confluence to go long. You know, I know people might be scalping, you know, you might be scalping from the low to the high, and that can work out, but at some point we are going to break out, you know, we are going to take out one of these highs and lows. It's just about when. You can see this range on the 1 hour. It's just back and forth. It's back and forth. I would like to see us come down for these equal lows. That would be ideal to see us come back down to these equal lows, take them out. But remember, these entries have been weird because, you know, normally if we're expecting those lows to get taken out and we were chasing this 1 minute fair value gap, I would look to take this short, but we just tried that. It didn't work out too well, right? Look at that bounce we're getting. Another strong bounce off the 4 hour. Because every time we think it's about to make that move, it doesn't happen. Right? But, you know, I'd want to see these shorts come in from here and take out these lows. That would be ideal. You just really have to time these trades right for it not to push all the way back up. All right, so our hourly is about to close here. About to get a close on this hourly time frame, hourly candle. 4 hours, still bouncing off that level. I would expect us to try to come back down and take out these lows. It's too strong of a liquidity level for us not to target at some point. We form another BPR up here, balanced price range on the 5 minute. So we'll see, are we going to range all the way back up? Or are we going to get retracement here and then drop back down? Ideally, I'd like to see us come back up into this 1 minute, into this 5 minute BPR, and drop. You know, but guys, I hope you're not over trading this right now. If you are trading this, I hope you're catching good trades, but there's a reason I'm staying out right now, guys, and the reason is because of this range, because our levels aren't playing out, you know, how they normally do, and when that happens, to me, it's better just kind of to be very patient, kind of sit on the sideline until I start seeing my levels actually respected, right, like a normal day. Alright, so I like the fair value gap up here. But again, we're just so back and forth. It's where I'm just going to be very patient because we could very easily push right through this fair value gap just like we did on that last one. Right, just like this one, we pushed right through it. Creating equal lows again here on the 1 minute. Right, so like the next thing for the shorts, okay, if we displace here, if this 1 minute candle displaces on the downside, and then we retrace up here in this order block, I would look for shorts. All right, but we're just not getting displacement. Okay, so we did displace now. Okay, so now I'm really expecting us to try to break through this range and take out these lows. Okay. After seeing this move, now we're all the way back at the bottom. I think we really could try to take out these lows now. Especially if we create equal lows again right here. And if we retrace back up, you know, but again, I'm not going to keep chasing price. I'm going to wait for that setup, wait for retracement, take it short. Let's see if we create these equal lows. Equal lows would be nice here. Get a bounce off this order block would be nice. Right, but again, not going to enter bearish when we're extremely bullish. Form a little 1 minute fair value gap here above an order block. That's a pretty solid entry. This little 1 minute fair value gap up here. Right, could be a solid entry, equal lows. We have multiple targets. I'm not going to get in the shorts down here. I'm going to wait for a move back up, wait for retracement, and then I'll execute a trade off of that. All right, we might push down right now, and if I miss out on that, that's okay. I'm willing to miss out on that to wait for my right entry. Another equal low down here. Trying to create another equal low. We didn't displace yet. We might start to drop from here. We might start to drop from here. I might look, you know, if we get a bounce from this 1 minute order block, I might look to take it short. Let's see. I'm waiting. I don't want to get in at the bottom, right, where we get a manipulation move. We grab liquidity. I'm not going to enter down here. But strong displacement move. Taking out this low. I really think we'll target this next low. But I'm not going to chase here. Okay, let's see how this 1 minute candle closes. We'll see how this 5 minute candle closes. A few seconds left here. And we failed to displace again, or do we displace? Okay, we displaced. We displaced. Alright, so now this order block could be a pretty solid entry right here. The order block up here could be a pretty solid entry. If we start to see any reaction down, I'll look to take it short here. Okay, I just got in the shorts there. I just got in the shorts. It's a pretty low entry there, guys. So, you know, if you want to wait for more retracement, you could wait for more retracement. But after seeing us form this 1 minute order block and we start to bounce from that order block, again, maybe I get stopped out here and time it at the worst possible time. But still, we have that momentum to the downside. We got displacement. This is one of those days where it's just kind of all over the place. But I can keep my stop, you know, at the top of this order block up here, like 17.82850. 17,829.50. But yeah, we might see that retracement back up right after displacing. So this is what I mean. This market has been so strange today. We displace, and then we get that retracement into an order block, and then we don't respect the order block. So that's just kind of how today's been. But still holding this trade. Want to see it, come down to the lows. If we start to break below, I'll add into a full. But for now, I'm just going to keep that half position. Stop just above this order, just above this 1 minute order block up here. About 53 ticks. Half a position. Right, if we start to drop aggressively, I'm going to add into my position to a full. Okay, I just added into a full there. I just added into a full. Entry is at 15.25. So I'll move my stop down to 50 ticks, 17,827.75. And I'll look to hold this all the way down to these equal lows. About 97 ticks all the way down to these equal lows. I just don't want to see manipulation moves like this. I want to see follow through. I like the 5 minute candle. I love that we displaced on the 5 minute. We retrace up into that order block and we start to drop. The 5 minute looks nice. But, we got to kind of get through this 1 minute manipulation here. So 1 to 1 would be 50 ticks. Would be about, for me, would be about 17,802.75. But I kind of want to hold this one all the way down to our equal lows. Like I said, this 5 minute time frame, we started out really good, where we come up, we bounce off of this order block here, and we bounce off this level, we displace the low. We're just not seeing any kind of continuation just yet. Nice 2 minute order block here. We just got to see that follow through now. Got to see bearish momentum start to step in. Got to see that drop happen. Don't want to see us range back up. Want to see us drop now and grab liquidity now. This is the time we need to see it. There we go. Okay, so we've hit a 1 to 1 now. We've hit over 50 ticks. If you want to take your first TP, I'm going to keep holding. I'm going to keep holding until we take out those lows for my first TP. I'm going to keep holding this until we take out those lows. There we go. First TP just got taken out. Moving my stop to break even. I just moved my stop to break even. Okay, first TP got taken. We might instantly reverse after this, guys. We might instantly reverse after this, so we're going to see. I'm still going to hold this, but we just caught 114 ticks on that one. All right, so now I've made my losses back. I'm in profit right now. My stop's at break even, so if we do stop me on at break even, I might, end up sitting around break even on the day. But let's check out what other targets we could have if we displace. Like, we want to see this 5 minute displace, but we might grab this liquidity and start to head back up. So if I see this 5 minute close right now, back up, I'm probably just going to sell everything. I'll probably just sell everything. Let's see, the 5 minute close. I don't know though, guys. I might keep holding this. I might keep holding this because that 15 minutes still has some time. We have a fair value gap above. Let's see what our other targets would be. Right? If you want to sell everything here, you could sell everything here. Displacement, I mean, like if this candle were to close, the body closed below these lows, that would be displacement. But again, on the hourly time frame, we've taken out these equal lows. So it might be hard for us to now push back down. We might start to push back up. Yeah, safer bet is to sell everything right now. For sure, it's to sell everything. That would be the safest. That would be the safest play right now. Would be to sell your whole position. Right, I'm already almost back. We're already almost. I guess we're not that close to break even, but we formed that breakaway 1 minute fair value gap. So I'm gonna let this ride at break even. If I get stopped, I'll be right around break even again on the day, which is okay with me. That's okay with me. I wanted to see this 15-minute close, because if this 15-minute closes beneath this low and displaces, we're gonna see us drop possibly all the way down to these lows down here. Right, so I'll just let this one ride. I would just let this one keep dropping. There we go. Okay, we'll see if we can continue. And I'll let you know if I move my stop into profit. That's 140 ticks so far, 140 ticks. I'm going to move my stop into profit now. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go, there we go. I'll probably sell everything if we drop down into this, our 4-hour fair value gap down here. But my stop is now above this high at 17,801.75. 17,801.75. If we drop again, you know, I might think about selling everything here. If we start to get a movement back up, I'll probably sell everything here and just take my profit. But I want to keep letting this ride if we're going to drop aggressively like this. Alright, we still have a few minutes left on our 15-minute time frame. But this is too much bearish momentum for me to just get out yet. And we still could drop further. Like that. This is what I mean. If you want to sell everything, we just hit 173 ticks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sell one more partial here. Okay, so now I'm just going to leave one runner here with my stop and profit. So I just sold another partial at like around 170 ticks, and now my stop is above this high, letting one more runner run. One more runner run. Look at this trade, guys. 187, 189 ticks. Like I said, this one could keep dropping, especially like, look at that 15-minute. If this 15-minute keeps dropping, I don't see us stopping for a while. I see us really dumping. Just depends what the 15-minute does, because the 15-minute could come back up, right? But that's why I put my stop and profit at this point. Again, we could end up dropping all the way back down. Look at that, guys. We're about to hit, we just hit 200 ticks, I think. We just hit 233 ticks. 233 ticks. Like, that's pretty solid. If you guys want to sell everything here, you can. I'm going to keep my stop where it is and just see if this one will keep running. And just kind of, you know, I already sold 75% of my position. So I'm good to let this keep running. I already sold 75%. This 15-minute closes in 1 minute. If this 15-minute closes below like this, guys, I think we'll keep running, and that's why I'm still letting this one go. I think we'll come all the way down to this low down here. So that's why you don't see me selling everything just yet. Right, like let's say we drop again from here, I'll probably just move my stop above this order block right here. Wow, we just keep going. We just keep going. 247 ticks. 247 ticks. 15-minute closes in 30 seconds. I'm going to move my stop a little bit down. I'm just going to move my stop down to like 17,785.25. I mean, guys, if you want to sell everything, we've just hit about 250 ticks, so you can sell everything here. My stop is now down here at 17,785. If we come back on me, I'll still get, you know, still take my profit. But like I said, that 15-minute close right there, look at that 15-minute close. Like, I really think this one could keep going. That's a very, very, very aggressive displacement move there. So that's why I'll just, you know, keep my stop and profit, let this one run. Right, but sell everything if you want. If you want to sell everything, we just hit 253 ticks, so. I mean, pretty nice trade, guys. That's how we come back. That's what patience does for us. We took a loss. We waited for a little bit. Waited for our entry to come back, took the perfect entry, and now we caught 250 ticks. So, of course, guys. Of course, man. I mean, yeah, guys. I hope you guys have caught this trade. Who's caught this with me? Who caught this with me? I want to see everybody that caught this trade. That's what I'm talking about. Look what patience does for us. I mean, that's what I'm telling you guys. Just be patient. Wait for those setups. Wait for those setups. Don't rush. So my stop's down here. You know, I thought about leaving it all the way above here, but I just want to, you know, secure profit just in case we do retrace. We'll see, you guys. We still could get a lot of retracement here because of, you know, forming this 15-minute fair value gap. We might see an order block here. We are back into a bullish fair value gap. Or what's down here? Our 4-hour bullish fair value gap, right? But, you know, waiting for the 1 hour to close would be the ideal situation. If this was at the end of the hour and we saw this 1 hour close below these lows, that would be like the most confirmation I could ever get. But, you know, I'm going based off the 15-minute, but we could still retrace and stop me out. So we'll see what happens here. But I mean, guys, 250 ticks, pretty solid. You know, but I've done, what was it, like yesterday? Yesterday I sold my position at 100 ticks in our prop firm session, and then it ended up dropping for 500 ticks, like directly after that. So now I'm like, okay, you know, I might just let this one run a little bit. I already took 75% of my position. I might as well leave one runner in with my stop and profit just to see what happens, right? Because we did displace. If we didn't displace, obviously I would have sold everything. But because we displaced with such aggressive momentum, that's why I let it run. Right, but let's say on the 15-minute, let's say we would have came back up, wicked back up, and closed above this level, I would have sold. I would have gotten out, wouldn't have held. But seeing this candle like this, there's no way I'm going to sell. I mean, I sold 75%, but I'm going to keep a runner. I'm going to keep a runner. But I might get stopped out in profit up here. We're getting pretty close to my stop now. Strong retracement move here. We'll see. We're back in that 1 minute fair value gap. Either way, went from being down to being up. Alright, the haters are down. We're up. My stop loss is currently at 17.78525. We up. Dude, I think I saw you say that, Groovy. You caught it like all the way up here, didn't you? That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Good stuff, dude. That's a massive move right there. Massive move. Yeah, I mean, look at ES as well. 15-minute displacement as well on ES. All right, we might come up and stop me out here. We'll see. You can tell we're forming this order block here on the 15 and the 5-minute. Right? Forming an order block. You know, we'll probably come back up into that fair value gap and then drop. If that's the case, you know, I'll get out of my trade. I don't mind. Right? If we stop me out, oh well. The riskier play for me here would be to keep my stop above this order block up here. But I just want to secure my profit now. Just want to secure my profit. I mean, at this point, I could even add into my position if I wanted to. But I wouldn't do that until that 5-minute or that 15-minute formed. And we came up, took it out, and came back down. I'm about to get stopped out here in profit. It's getting so close. About 20 ticks away. 20 ticks away from my stop. Wow, pretty nice, guys. Pretty nice. I will take 250 ticks anytime. Anytime. When at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I don't remember who said that, but I remember that being a pretty famous quote. Is that Shakespeare? Anybody know? I might have to look that up. Oh, okay. Thank you. I love that quote. I love that quote. Never give up. Never give up until it's time to move on to something different. All right, but if you're passionate about something and you want to make it work, you make it work. You don't give up. Okay, yeah, let's go over the trade. Well, in terms of retracement, I'm kind of waiting for that 15-minute to close. If this 15-minute closes like this, we'll probably retrace back up into this fair value gap. Technically, this is a 15-minute bearish breaker, right, with this high, low, higher, high displacement. So this would be that candle, so we could retrace pretty far back up, maybe even to this 15-minute order block. Or we'll touch up into this 15-minute fair value gap and drop again. We'll see. This 5-minute also forming an order block. Right, that's why I'm tempted to leave my stop a little bit higher, or to even add into my position, because we could easily come back up into this 5-minute fair value gap here, or this 15-minute fair value gap here, and still drop, right? That's why I'm tempted to, but I just want to secure profit when I have it. I'm going to move my stop down a little bit more, just above that high. So I moved my stop down to 17,782, so it's just above these highs right here. Just above these highs. And if we drop again, we'll catch a nice move here. We'll catch a nice, and I'll go over this trade just right after I'm done with it. Right after I get out, I'll do a little recap of it. We'll talk about why I entered, what was my reasoning. So right now, we are back at 200, and we just hit 216 ticks again. So at this point, my stop is in profit up here over 100 ticks, like 130 ticks. So I don't mind leaving at 130 ticks in profit. That's still going to give me very good profit on this trade. And the reason I'm letting this run is because of how much potential there is, how much reward there could be on this trade, and because I already took out most of my position. So I'm only leaving one runner here, 25% of my position. So I don't mind letting this one run, because the potential here, the next low, our next liquidity level is at 540 ticks from our entry, right? So this might be one where if I don't get stopped out anytime soon, which I very well could, I'll just let this run for the rest of the morning if I don't get stopped out. Right, but for now I'll leave my stop here for good. We might get stopped out, here in a few seconds. 15-minute closes in 5 minutes. This 5 minutes still didn't touch up into that fair value gap, so we still have room to retrace. But we'll see here. We'll see. Either way, my stop is 130 ticks in profit. My full TP, if I don't get stopped out, which I think the likelihood here might be kind of high of us coming back up. If I don't get stopped out, my full TP is going to be at the low all the way down here at 17,668. And I would just hold this. I would just kind of swing this for the rest of the morning, right? But that's if I don't get stopped out. So 17,668. So about like 589 ticks. But I'm not, if I really wanted to let this run, I would leave my stop at break even. Maybe I even will. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should let this one run after selling 75% of my position and just kind of move my stop up kind of high and let this one retrace and drop? Or do you guys think I should keep my stop where it is right here in profit? Hold. Keep it in profit. Come on, guys. I need some more votes. Keep it where it is. See green, take green. Okay, so I'm seeing more. I'm seeing a lot of 50-50 here, guys. A lot of people are saying break even. A lot of people are saying take your profit. Let it run. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to keep it above this order block up here. It's still going to be in profit. It's going to be at 17,801.50. And since I already sold, if I didn't sell 50% or 75% of my position, I wouldn't do this. But since I sold 75% of my position, and because we see this 15-minute right here, look at this 15-minute fair value gap that we're forming with an order block, 5-minute order block. I'll let this one run because we got that strong displacement. So let's go over this trade, right? Let's kind of talk about it. So my original plan here, remember we tried to short up here when we formed this 1-minute fair value gap. We got displacement of these lows, and then obviously it's pre-FOMC. We retrace all the way back up to here, but we still had these equal lows, guys. Look at on the 1-hour time frame. These beautiful equal lows right here. When I see these, I'm always going to try to see if price will target those equal lows or equal highs, because that is such a strong draw on liquidity. So that was one of my main reasonings, right? We had our target, and then we started getting strong displacement, right? This 5-minute, right when we displaced on this 5-minute, this low right here, that gave me that confidence to continue to, to get into another trade because we displaced this low, because I saw that we were trying to go for a target. And then right when we formed this 1-minute order block after displacement, we bounced, I got an entry, right? Right when we see displacement, we bounce from a 1-minute order block, I'm going to get an entry and try to catch it down because we had this target and we still had very good risk management. That's why I took it. Yeah, so I'll probably just hold this trade, until I get stopped out up here. Right, so now my stop loss is at 17,801.50. Right there is my stop, okay? This is my stop, 17,801.50. And I'm willing to be risky on this trade just because I see the potential. Because look at this 15-minute, because we could retrace all the way back into this 15-minute. And even if I do, we might retrace and still stop me out. But I still want to give it a little bit of room to try to touch up into this fair value gap and drop. So I'm willing to let this one ride. I already took a lot of profit here. So I'm going to be more risky with my profits here and let this one go. I'm going to let this one go. If you want, we're still sitting at 200 ticks, so you could take your full profit here and just get out. Take your win and run. Yeah, we're at about 180 ticks. So, that's up to you what you want to do with it. We're accumulating right now. We just closed that 15-minute. So what I'd want to see happen here is us push up a little bit into this 15-minute fair value gap here, and then drop. And then drop, right? That's what I'd want to see. Push a little bit above in this 5-minute and then drop. Maybe we don't even go into it. Maybe we just drop here, and this is a strong 15-minute order block. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to let this one ride. If you want to let it ride with me, you can. If you want to take your full profit, again, we're back to like 200 ticks right now. Guys, I went in 4 minis on this trade. My first trade I was in well, I think I was, did I go in full lot? I think I went full lot. So I was down, right, on 50 ticks. My full lot today was 4 minis. So I got in 2, added 2, sold 2, and then sold 1, right? So now I'm only in one, I'm in 1 mini now. I'm in 1 mini. So I'm holding 1 mini, 25% of my position, and letting this one run, right? Like I said, if we come all the way down, look at this drop. We could come all the way down for 500 plus ticks. So I'm willing to let this one ride. Total P&L right now. So I was down about 1,000, and now I am up. Technically, right now I'm up about 1,800. If I were to sell right now, right? If I were to sell right now, I'd be up about 1,800. But I'm going to keep holding this. I keep getting tempted to move my stop above this high here. We just got another displacement candle on the 1 minute. But look at this 15-minute order block. This is what I mean, guys. This is such a strong order block now. If we displace on the 15-minute, if we displace this 5-minute, this will be a very strong level. So yeah, I mean, this trade has now hit 297 ticks. We've almost hit 300 ticks on this one. Man, do I just get out completely here? This is tempting. I'm going to move my stop down. I'm going to move my stop down now. Back to where it was, back above those highs, 17,782. 17,782. I'll just move my stop down to there. This is such a difficult trade to handle here, guys. This is a difficult one because I want to take my profit, but I also want to let this one run after seeing this order block trying to form. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. Go for a walk. You guys are funny. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep my stop. I'm gonna keep my stop here. I'm gonna let this trade run, and I'm gonna call this session here. I'm gonna end it. We're gonna see what happens. If you guys want to hold this with me, you can hold this with me. If you want to get out, you can get out. We just hit almost 300 ticks, so I'd say that's pretty solid risk to reward there. Okay, so like I said, this is my stop loss 17,782. Right, I might get stopped out. This might run. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna end the session. Great session today. Overall, we did catch 300 ticks on that. So hopefully you guys took your profit. You don't have to do exactly what I do, right? You can do whatever. Remember, I'm just holding one trailer or one runner here. I'm seeing what happens. So I appreciate you guys a lot. God bless everybody. I hope, I'll see you in a little bit, actually. We're going to hop on for education at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. We're going to run like a 30-minute educational session, and then we'll hop on for prop firm, and then we'll be done for the day. All right? So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Take it easy. In about an hour, I'm going to go eat some breakfast, and we'll hop back on for some education. All right, guys. Good session. Peace.